Okay. Hello and welcome to the broadcast. Hopefully you can hear me okay now, Alex. I know you were watching from YouTube. So let me know if you're still with us, if you can hear me and see me okay. When I relaunched the broadcast, I did not unmute my microphone. Um, all right, here we go. I get all this stuff set up in advance and test it out. And then for some reason, when I go live, things are not working. And I'm not sure what makes that happen. We'll figure it out eventually. That much I do know. But thank you all for joining me and welcome to the Sidereal Insights Astro Update. Welcome to the Sidereal Insights Astro Update for May 4th, 2020. We are having our May the 4th be with you broadcast. So thank you for joining me. Let's kind of jump right in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back up all the way to the beginning of the broadcast and kind of start fresh. So on Sidereal Insights, every 2 weeks, we explore the astrology of the current planetary transits across the heavens from a Western sidereal perspective. And so we're using the Fagan-Bradley Sidereal Zodiac. If you need to look up your sign placements, your chart, there's an online calculator at mystickphysick.com/sidereal tools that you can find out for free. I'm Phaedra. I'm, of course, the artist and astrologer of Mystick, Physick, Astrology. And what I do is I use Western sidereal astrology in my practice. And the idea with these broadcasts is really to kind of provide guidance for you on how you can consciously use the energy of the transiting planets to affect your life in a positive way. And so I want to thank you for watching. I want to invite you to like and share the broadcast, tag a friend if you know someone who might be interested in what we're going to be talking about here today. And you can also follow us on Facebook. You can follow Mystick, Physick, Astrology on YouTube as well. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about retrograde season. It is getting underway. We're going to be talking about the full moon in Libra coming up in a couple of days. And we're going to be talking about Mercury joining Venus out of bounds, as well as some other transits that are going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. And so if anyone's on live, just let me know that you can hear me, you can see me. I'll be confident that as I jump into the rest of this, you'll have some information to work with. But let's dive kind of right in. What I want to do first is recap where we're at right now. What are our current transits that we're experiencing? We just had Pluto station retrograde on April 25th. So that particular annual retrograde is underway now. We have the sun in Sidereal Aries right now until May 15th before the sun moves into Taurus. We also have Mercury in Aries. Mercury entered Aries April 25th, so late April. He's going to be there only until May 9th, so just for about 5 more days before he moves into Taurus. And while Mercury's in Aries, this is about like speaking your boundaries, speaking your piece, speaking for yourself, and speaking up for yourself. This is an energy that allows us to tap into our own assertiveness in terms of dialogue, communication, that sort of thing. So it's really about verbalizing your boundaries, right? Mars is the planet of us asserting ourselves and being the ruler of Aries while Mercury's transiting that. That gives us an opportunity to tap into that and assert our own personal boundaries with a little bit more confidence, I think. When Mercury moves into Taurus, that's a little bit different expression. That's an opportunity for us to really give voice to our desires. It's about communicating what it is you really want. And so that'll be a transit coming up where we'll have the opportunity to be a little bit more expressive about what it is we want. What it is we want to experience, what it is we want to enjoy, all of that type of stuff. Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn entered Capricorn late January. That's a slower moving planet. So this is a 3-year long transit. We've talked about it a couple of times on past broadcasts. Saturn challenges us when he transits a house. He challenges us and tests for weakness. And the idea behind this, or how you can use it, is that when Saturn shows you where something is structurally weak or unsound, that's an opportunity to shore things up, to go in and make whatever repairs or changes are necessary to reinforce the underlying structure. If you waste or squander that opportunity, if you don't take advantage of it, when you're challenged under difficult transits, that structure can fail. It could completely break down. So Saturn coming into Capricorn is an opportunity for you to go in and shore up weak spots in the house that Capricorn rules in your sidereal natal chart. And I would advise you strongly to do that, because if you don't, you may come to regret it later. But expect to be tested in that area of your life for the coming 3 years. We have Mars moving into sidereal Aquarius tomorrow, May 5th, for 6.5 weeks, and that'll last until July 19th. And Mars in Aquarius can bring about increased mental activity. This can bring about an increased exchange of information, but disinformation as well. It's about the exchange of data and knowledge. It's about increased social activity. And this is kind of an interesting transit. It's like I said, it's 6.5 weeks long. And given where we're at right now, as a global community, and even in our own individual lives, this is kind of a tricky transit. Aquarius rules extremists and extremism. Mars is the god of war. And so what we see with these two energies in combination is a potential for violence, like violence in the streets, extremism. It's an explosive combination in the right circumstances. And so in the coming 6.5 weeks, we want to really keep kind of an eye on the Mars transits through sidereal Aquarius, because challenging aspects or challenging transits that may happen in the next 6.5 weeks could potentially trigger those sorts of activities or those sorts of events or incidences when we talk about a global scale, a mundane scale. Okay, we have Jupiter in Capricorn. That ingress happened April 6th. He's going to be in Capricorn until April 2021. Jupiter generally takes about a year to transit each sign. And so what we'll see there is kind of a preview, a sneak preview of Jupiter's, what Jupiter in Capricorn will bring. And then as he comes up to his retrograde here in just a few days, he will eventually be taken back into Sagittarius. And that gives us an opportunity for like a second chance or a do-over in our Sagittarius ruled house. He'll be back in Sagittarius from late June until late November. So for several months after Jupiter turns direct again, we'll have that energy in our Sagittarius house, that do-over opportunity, and then moving full steam ahead before we dive back into our Capricorn transit with Jupiter in late November. And from then on until next April, it'll be full steam ahead with Jupiter and Capricorn. Okay. Venus in Taurus right now. We'll talk about this briefly and a little bit about Venus retrograde, but I've gone over that in a past broadcast, so you may want to watch that just for additional information. Venus in Taurus until April 2nd. This is an extraordinarily long transit, and it's due to Venus's coming retrograde. Venus usually only retrogrades about once every 18 months, so it's not as frequent as the other planetary retrogrades that we experience. So generally in Taurus, she's strengthened, she's supported. That's a sign that she rules. However, retrograde is a weakened condition generally, and it's not a good time for Venus ruled activities. And that's what I've gone over in the past broadcasts, is what you can do, what you can't do, and my advice around Venus retrograde. Okay. So catch, I believe, Sidereal Insights Astro Update from the 20th of April. I talked about that pretty well in depth. But she's also out of bounds right now, and that casts a slightly different flavor to all of this. And we have Mercury joining her out of bounds here in a couple of days. Venus has been out of bounds since April 2nd. She's going to be out of bounds until June 1st. So she'll come back in to the ecliptic before the retrograde is over. And Venus out of bounds inclines us towards unusual, eccentric, or avant-garde tastes in things like relationships and art, fashion, jewelry, things that Venus rules. This also includes business and money. And so what's interesting is that with Venus out of bounds, unusual, creative, and outside of the box thinking can be quite profitable. And this is a perfect opportunity to take that to the test given the global situation. If you're a business owner, or if you run a business in some way, especially during these coming few weeks while Venus is retrograde, because if you tap into this energy of creative and unusual and outside of the box thinking in response to business circumstances or business conditions, changing business conditions, you can tap into that profitability. However, it's likely only to be a short-term or temporary thing that you do in your business. But what I want to communicate and underscore for you is that this is an opportunity where a little bit of quick thinking and quick reacting, even though we're going through a really unprecedented time economically, globally, in the middle of a pandemic, there's the potential for your business to remain profitable even while we have these really uncertain and shifting conditions. If you're quick on your feet, if you're thinking creatively, and you're taking the right action to leverage this energy, you can maintain a bit of profitability through this time. Just know that whatever you're doing now is not necessarily part of your long-term business plan, right? And so that's what is important about these coming weeks with Venus retrograde, especially through June 1st while she's out of bounds. Okay. Now we also have her stationing retrograde May 13th, and that'll be through June 26th. So hopefully you've wrapped up all your Venus ruled activities related to beauty, money, business, love, and partnership matters. If not, you have a few days to get those things done. I wouldn't go initiating anything though until after Venus is well past her retrograde. Okay. Now looking ahead, today we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. This is kind of exciting. It's an important day for folks with Gemini or Virgo Sun or rising. It's generally a notable type of event for most everyone, right? Because the Sun and Mercury are personal planets, and when planets are conjunct, we feel that quite significantly. So most everyone will feel this in some way, but it'll be more pronounced for folks who have Gemini or Virgo Sun or rising sign, or maybe lots of Mercury contact in their chart. Now, Mercury is going to be out of bounds from May 16th until June 10th, and that can make us a little bit reactionary in terms of our communication. And my notes are not prepared to go super in-depth on that, but maybe I can do like a short video later where we talk specifically about things like Mercury out of bounds and how that plays out. Danielle says, Kent State protest shooting was 50 years ago on May 2nd. Yes, it was. And I would be interested to go back and look at the astrology of that. I would be really curious to see where Mars was when that happened, what was going on with that. Thank you for noting that comment, Danielle. And thank you for joining us on the broadcast. I appreciate it. It's nice to have folks on, and it's nice to have your comments and questions. I love having y'all with. Let me get my notes back in front of me because I wanted to pop in and check those questions because I saw we had some live viewers. Hopefully Alex is still with us on YouTube and can actually hear me now. And thank you, Alex, for letting me know there was an issue with the sound. I apologize. I get everything set up and tested beforehand. And then when I go live, I find that something's not working right. And I'm not sure what happens between when I test and when I hit the live button. I haven't figured out what's causing... there's a couple of different recurring issues, and they all are centering around getting sound on the broadcast, and not just getting sound, but getting good quality sound, because you want to be able to hear what I'm talking about and make sense of what I'm saying, right? We have coming up in a couple days, the full moon in Libra. That's happening, May 7th. Venus rules that, but she's preparing to retrograde. For this full moon, she's in a separating square from Neptune. And Neptune and squares, this is a lot about disappointment and disillusionment, right? So I'm concerned that our outcome from this full moon could result in disappointment or disillusionment down the road, or our outcome from this full moon could be disappointing in some way as a result of, say, a prior deception that is made clear now that we finally are able to see. Danielle says the eclipses already hit us here. Yes, they are starting to. That began kicking in April 4th. And so, yes, it's eclipse season. We're feeling that too. It's a kind of a doozy of an eclipse season in some ways because we have 3 in a row and we're shifting from one series to another. And so eclipses being a season of change anyway, this is changier change if there's such a thing. Okay. But that's really kind of what I want to highlight about the full moon in Libra. There's a risk of escapism. And I'm pretty sure we're probably all feeling the urge to escape, given just this crazy, unprecedented type of experience that we're living through. This is really, it's traumatic on a global scale. It's putting really all of us in some degree of fight or flight at some point and for some period of time. And so it's a challenge, and we may end up wanting to escape from that. And this full moon is describing escapism through indulgence, through sensory stimulation, through pleasure seeking. And that can include things like drugs and intoxicants. So just be careful, be aware. If you feel that there's a risk that you might be tempted into some sort of unhealthy method of escapism, try to set yourself up for success by kind of like thinking ahead, planning ahead, identifying what you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can have healthy escape outlets at your disposal as you need them rather than unhealthy ones. So whether that means having things around you that you can tap into that you might need, or getting things out of your environment that might be too much of a temptation, that might cause harm, do what you need to do. But this full moon really kind of speaks of impulses to escape in what may not necessarily be the healthiest ways. And this full moon could also bring relationship issues to the forefront. So I want to kind of toss that out there for you. And I'm just going to check YouTube comments real quick. Hi, Alex. Yes, we're here. We have sound. We have chat. Holy smokes. Everything's working. All right. So if we can get the video wrapped up before we have to worry about our sound going bad, that'll be good, right? Here we go. It seems like it's on the longer videos towards the end. It starts to get distorted. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about today as far as transits, although I do have some announcements and some information that I want to toss at you that could be valuable as we go into the coming weeks and months. So join me live Wednesday, May 6th. We're having our full moon in Libra guided releasing practice. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's also 2:30 in the morning. I'm so sorry if you're watching from the UK, and 1:30 in the afternoon the following day, Australian Eastern Time. That's in the Sidereal Insights Astrology community on Facebook generally, but I'm going to be simulcasting to YouTube. Hopefully we'll pull this off without a hitch. You're also going to watch, if you haven't already, my latest video on June and July 2020 eclipse season, critical dates and degrees to know. In that video, I cover the mid-2020 eclipse season with an eye towards how to know if you're going to be personally affected by any. There's 3 eclipses: Scorpio, Gemini, Sagittarius. Whether that effect is going to be challenging or easy for you, and what dates you're going to want to keep an eye on in the coming year if you're directly affected by any of those 3 eclipses. So I will, after I hop off, I'll post these links in the video description on Facebook. They should already be there for you if you're watching from YouTube. But you're going to want to watch that video, June and July 2020 eclipses, critical dates and degrees to know. And also I want to invite you to sign up for the new Eclipse Insights readings that I'm offering. We're doing kind of a test pilot run just to see how this might work as a concept so that we can tweak it when we do the next offer. It'll be for the November, December eclipses coming up at the end of the year. And so the Eclipse Insights readings, these are designed as kind of like a mini group reading session, well, probably 4 or 5 people tops, so that I have time to spend with everyone. You'll all get, say, 20 to 30 minutes of interaction with me in your chart. We're going to do it in kind of like a video conference type of format so that we can all interact, and that gives you the opportunity not only to get professional guidance from an astrologer one-on-one for your own chart, but the opportunity to sit in on an astrologer reading other charts, because you can gain valuable insight and information. You can always learn things. So if you're kind of a student or a hobbyist and you're interested in learning, this can be an interesting experience for you to take advantage of. And so I am offering that as a service for this eclipse season. We'll play with it, we'll see how it goes, and then we'll tweak it for going forward. But this will be $57 a seat, 4 seats per time slot. So I'm only doing this for 12 folks right now. Okay. I'm offering a $20 off discount until midnight tonight. So if you get in before midnight, you can reserve your seat for $37 a seat. There's 3 time sessions. I've done morning, afternoon, and evening so that it works hopefully with a variety of people's schedules, and we have viewers from all around the world. So hopefully you'll find a time that works good for you. And if, as you watch the 2020 June and July eclipse season video, if you see that you have more than one eclipse that will be affecting you, you can book multiple seats so that we can take a look at each different eclipse that you're going to be experiencing. And that'll give us a chance to have me look at your chart in connection with the eclipse that you're concerned about, and we can explore it, in more depth. We'll spend about 20 or 30 minutes per person, and it gives you the opportunity to ask questions of me and to learn, like I said, even more about astrology through each participant's case study. And we'll do 3 different meetups at different time slots so that they'll work with your schedule. And those readings are just going to allow you to get that personalized insight into how you might be affected. It's going to give you the opportunity to work with a professional astrologer at a reduced rate. I don't normally do readings rates like this. Usually it's, $100 and up, depending on what you're wanting. But I think this is a wonderful opportunity to kind of get in and work in little group sessions. Oh, yay! Danielle says, count me in. That's good. It's really exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to this. It's been something I've been kicking around for a while, and I thought, well, let's test it out this eclipse season and see what comes of it. And then if we like it, if we don't like it, whatever. I'm going to be coming back for your feedback, Danielle, just to have you tell me, did it work for you? Because then we can really, I think, roll this out as an ongoing thing, because eclipses happen every 6 months, right? So we're having this conversation every 6 months. And so I thought this might be a great program for folks to get a little bit more personalized insight as we move through eclipse season at a really kind of at an affordable rate, but also an opportunity to learn about how eclipses can affect a variety of situations just based on, sitting in on someone else's case study. And so the link for that, I'll add that to the Facebook description once I hop off. It should be already on the video description if you're watching from YouTube. But thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you for bringing your questions. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Danielle. Please, if you haven't subscribed already to the Mystick Physick Astrology YouTube channel, I invite you to do that. If you're already a subscriber, I want to say thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate your support. And I remind you to click on the bell icon if you want to get notifications every time I upload a video. Please follow Mystick Physick Astrology on Facebook, like and share this broadcast, tag a friend if you know someone that might benefit from watching what we've been talking about here today. And thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you again